Sponsored by Chartered Financial Strategies. You are now watching Tax Bytes.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Tax Bites, and today we're going to answer the question is how much does the federal government spend and what do we spend it on? Something we should know and be very relevant, especially as we move into the 2020 election cycle. As you can see, we've talked in the past about collecting $3.5 trillion, and that's kind of where we are, collecting $3.5 trillion in tax revenues. By the way, this is usdebtclock.org. It's kind of a common website that consolidates a lot of tax and financial and government, economic information. And so usdebtclock.org is where this is. And this is really generic kind of stuff. It's not going to be real deep. But you're going to see that 3.5 trillion is in line with what we collected, and then we talked in another episode about taxes. So what is spent is about 4.5 trillion. So there is this $1 trillion deficit that is created. So how do you spend 4.5 when you only get 3.5 in revenues? Well, think of, okay, I got $10,000. I spent 12. What did I do? I probably put something on a credit card, or I got a loan. I bought a $300,000 home, but only put $50,000 down. So where to get the other 250? A bank loan, which is basically what the federal government does. They fund the difference between the 3.5 trillion they collect and the 4.5 trillion they spend is here by issuing some form of treasuries, uh, you know, debt instruments to the financial markets, and they get funds for that. So that's issued out, and you're basically running a credit card, say a credit card, a home equity loan, whatever. In layperson's terms, that's what that would be. So every year you're just expecting the financial markets to be there for you to fund your shortfall of revenue, and that's where that goes. So why do we have this revenue shortfall? Well, there's these buckets are down here as to what we spend on, and these again are somewhat, I don't want to say generic terms, but bucketed terms, we'll say. You have Medicare, Medicaid, which is about 1.2, 1.3 trillion in spending. You have Social Security, which is about 1.1 trillion in spending. So you get 2.4, we'll say, 2.3, 2.4 trillion of the 4.5. Defense, military spending is, we'll say, 680, 690, right around there. Interest on that debt that's up in here is another, almost 400 billion. Income security. And by the way, if you move through the website, you're going to see that as I move across these things, that little center box up there change. It kind of explains what some of this is. Income security is, it's another form of Social Security. Supplemental security income is a Social Security trust fund that's out there that's used to pay for people who are, disabled under a certain age or whatever. Earned income credits are a way on a tax refund. You get money, you get a refund because you earned under a certain level of income, things of that nature. So, variety of income support is there. Federal pensions, another 300-ish thousand, so forth. The thing you want to understand here is two things. One, uh, you're not seeing a lot of the what I would call appropriated spends in here. This is roughly what 1 point, and I'm going to do the math if I can bring this up, and I forgot to do so. Oh, where are you at, calculator? There you are. All right. So if we come over here, we're going to say 1262, 0153, oh, 301-ish, 2.6, 290 for federal spends. So about, that's not right. I messed that up. 1262, 1053, 301, and there we go, and 290, enter. 2.9, divide that by the 500, we're going to say, and that's 65%. Around 65 to 70% of the spending are in these types of buckets, which are called mandatory spends. I won't get into reasons about it too much, but if you understand that Medicare, Social Security, income security programs, federal pension programs, generally fall within a mandatory spend, which means they're going to follow a different funding process than see what's called appropriated. I'm not going to go great detail on that. So this is really just kind of a quick bucketing of how things are done, where spends go. It's not to undermine or allocate that defense is a better spend than others. It's just a way I'm going to talk about how the budget process works in another episode and kind of setting that up for the next discussion point or presentation point. So for now, the takeaway is, we spend 4.5 trillion and we fund it through treasuries. The shortfall, the extra trillion, is funded through basically some form of debt issuance every year. And the buckets of spend are largely mandatory spend. Our largest part of our budget or spending efforts are mandatory spends. So that's something to think about, and that's the tax bite for the day. And hope you learned something. So have a good day.